Do you?
I just checked.
Always allow. Thank you, Ryan. So hey guys, welcome back to another live stream, another video, and today, as always, it's Friday, it's 5 PM, so you know what it is. Gprl Season 4. You join us today in round 7, what will be the midpoint of the season. As always, I'm joined by Ryan.
Well, I need to work on my intro because I feel like I say the same thing every time, so I'm just going to say hi.
Yeah.
And I'll think of something new to say next week.
It's
usually
it's
good to be back.
Yeah, glad to be here or something.
I'll just say
Ooh,
I've got
on
the Friday feeling, so... Oh yeah,
AMR off into the gravel struggling. But yeah, Ryan, welcome back yet again. Jarno back in the session, which is good to know. He left just before we started this broadcast. Anyway, obviously starting a little bit into qualifying. Seems to be a bit of a running trend as of recent, but we're here. So Ryan, as you were watching qualifying whilst I was sorting a couple of other things out, could you just give us a quick rundown of quali?
Well, to start off with, a few of the drivers were struggling to get a good lap in, because there were a lot of people that went out on their out lap, and as they were going to set their time, they just mysteriously just came right back into the pits. So it seems like maybe a lot of the drivers are struggling today. But
yeah.
Alex is retired, so I don't know if that's his final run done or if he's genuinely crashed.
I'm not sure, I wasn't watching. I'm trying to look on other drivers' perspectives that are out and can't see anything. All Moraines goes quickest.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I mean...
Considering he had problems because he failed to load his proper setup on, so that's really good to be 4/10 ahead of his teammate on a default setup but slightly modified.
Yeah, so I think Kota, not the worst track for a default setup. But nevertheless, I think good effort there from Moraine. Half a second quicker. That's Tyler, who is retired from the session. Just to tell you today, the tyres available to the drivers: the Ultra Soft, the Super Soft, and the Soft. We've only seen one driver qualify on the Super Soft today. That was Alex. He's currently in P6. Not an incredible day for the Mercedes, but you know, you can always expect something. Moraine, that will be his last lap of the session, so P1, that's the lap for them all to beat. As yeah, then goes Moraine retiring from the session. Steve goes P3, so not a bad effort from the Ferrari, just 7/10 adrift of the Red Bull. Still currently a Red Bull 1-2 Damien up in P4. He's probably just going to have one more lap, as you can see he goes out right now. Haas at the home Grand Prix, so Damien's hoping to get a good result, and if he gets a start any time like his last time of competition in Australia, I think he'll be quite impressed. Esteban in P5, I believe. I'm not sure if he's on a fast lap. I think he is on a fast lap. And we have Marcos coming through at the final corner now on some fresh Ultra Soft. So what do you make of that strategy from Marcos then, Ryan?
I think what's it called most of the drivers are going to do. You don't really want to start on the hardest compound because you're really going to struggle at the beginning. So I think that this is going to be the lap that really sets Marcos up for maybe a one-stop strategy, maybe ultras to softs.
Yeah, I think so. But it looked quite clean. Yeah, if you could just turn your phone on silent, Ryan.
Yeah, my phone just started exploding with messages there.
Yeah. So yeah, Esteban out the session. Esteban goes P3 actually, so not bad. Esteban's left the session actually, so he's gone one step too far. Hopefully he'll be able to get back into the session by the time the race starts. He should be able to. But we watch Marcus. It looks like a relatively clean lap so far. And Ryan, if you could just keep us updated on anything else going on as we watch Marcos through the final sector now.
I want to point out as well, of course, it is well, Tyler's home race as well, the Duke of Bristol and McLaren.
It is,
It'll be his home race as well, so it should be a good one for him. I think he'll have a blast out there.
You'd hope so, hopefully a little longer than some of his recent outings in Gprl.
Oh, Amar is into the grass. I don't know what corner that is.
But we watch Marcos through the final corner. Section. It's P1. 2/10 to Moraine. That was a very good lap from Marcos.
What is it with Marcos? He sets a lap so slow at the beginning and then just bang
He
straight up
does.
into pole
He
position.
does. So Amar can't improve.
Marine won't be happy with that.
He won't be happy, but albeit it's a second row off the grid, unless this man, his teammate, last week's race winner, I believe. No, 2 weeks ago, it was Alex who won it last week. Alex down in P8, so not the great qualifying from Alex. Esteban back in the session, so that's good news. He will be able to take recontrol of his car. Someone who didn't take recontrol of his car was Jarno, who's down in P12. He will get a fresh set of tyres, but that would be quite an ask. Maybe we'll get a Max Verstappen-esque sort of drive to the podium. We'll see, but all the best of luck to Jarno, and we hope he will be competing in the race. But now there's pretty much one contender left for pole position. It's Felix, unless Damien can pull out an absolute banger of a lap at Haas's home Grand Prix. But we watch Felix now through the triple right-hander, then through the penultimate corner, trying to keep as much momentum as banging on the brakes.
So far.
It looks a clean lap, but is it fast? I think that's one thing. Damien out of the session, maybe a crash. It's P3 for Felix.
P3.
He can't improve. Well, I'm not sure if he did improve, but he didn't improve in terms of position. So, Ryan, once the results pop up, could you give us a quick rundown, please?
Sure thing. Just need to go and get
The
it.
rewards, yep.
So it's Marcos on pole again. Good redemption from, I believe it was last race when he crashed on just a lap before the points were going to be counted.
That was Australia, yeah.
It was a good comeback from him. His title rival in a very close second place. Felix and Toro Rosso, very
Esteban.
good qualifying.
Yep.
Esteban, that's it. Steve, Damien with another good performance. Tyler with a good performance. Alex could have been better, as well as Karim. And obviously Jarno, but he must have had like some connection problem or something.
Obviously.
And then you've got Amar and the fourth Alessio. Is the force engine.
That's it. Lovely. I think the two of them struggled to put a lap together. It'll be interesting to see how they get on in the race. It's looking a little bit overcast. We'll see if
I think there might be rain. I hope so, because we know what happened last time there was rain.
Yeah, well, I think the question is, are we going for 5th safety car in a row maybe today? 5th, 6th?
Yeah, I think it'll be 5th in a row. Yeah.
Yeah. Damien says that it's not a good circuit for the controller, which it isn't, which is a good point. But
I would say I kind of disagree. I mean, I would say I'm quite decent around this track on a controller. Well, going by online, like actually racing other people. Yeah, I seem to do really well on this track. So, but I don't know. It could just be me.
Quite possibly. Oh, I've turned the... Here we go. Right. Press triangle accidentally. So, Jarno back in control of his car. That is good to see. So, Jarno, so we know fast driver. No assists this time. And, you know, going on board, it looks very overcast. So we'll have to speak to some of the drivers and see. Drivers, if you're listening to the live stream, could you just put in the... Well, some of them do. Felix usually does. I think Moraine does sometimes.
Yeah, which is good. But then also not so good for them because they're supposed to be racing.
Well, Felix was listening to it the whole time during Australia, and he absolutely smashed that, so I don't think he'd be complaining too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the drivers starting on ultra soft tyres, other than Alex, who qualified on those super softs, I believe, and the two with fresh tyres, Amar and Jarno. So these two. Oh, Amar goes off. Little spinneroonie there from him.
Yeah, I see the Toro Rosso. Oh, he's been disqualified. And Steve as well. Oh, Steve got caught up in it.
Yeah, it means nothing. There's formation lap drives having a little bit of fun before the start of the race. But yeah, expect Jarno to come through. And what's your prediction for Jarno today?
Well, obviously he'll be able to get into the points. I think he can get up to maybe P7, P6 if he stretches those supers out long enough, which he is on the supers, just to point out.
Yep.
Yeah, there'll be I think he can overtake about half the grid. I don't know if he'll be able to catch up to likes of Steve, Amar and Felix. I'm not sure about that.
Possibly.
Or no, Esteban, sorry.
Esteban, yeah.
Not Amar.
Amar starting just ahead of Jarno on the 6th row of the grid.
And the weird thing is, he's miles behind the grid, so I don't know if this is like a strategy for him, where if he stays further back he'll have warmer tyres, or if he's just, I don't know. But Jarno's overtaken him in the formation laps, that's one position already.
There is that. But yeah, they're actually quite closer together than usual. Now sometimes you see people really back off, which is quite funny. But we got Jarno slotting into as Amar slotting into his grid slot, and then we're ready to go.
Yep, we are indeed.
Marcos on the front row of the grid as the championship rivals. Who will claim victory in USA? I think it's about time to find out. Lights out and away we go. Moraine not getting away incredibly. Will he get challenged by his teammate Felix? I think he will be. Felix looking around the outside. Esteban is down the inside. Felix successfully around the outside. Moraine having to defending. There's contact further back as off goes the McLaren. And it's side by side. Felix and Marcos. Felix down the inside. Can he get the move on the Spaniard in the Mercedes? The Marcos is forced off track. And he's lost the position also to Felix's teammate, Moraine, and that was a very good start from Felix. I think it was fair to squeeze him off track there. I don't think it was anything too ambitious. And now Marcus is looking vulnerable from the Toro Rosso of Esteban, who makes a little mistake. There's actually a yellow flag. Amar is off, and I believe now he's gone off on his own, struggling all weekend. And there's battling between Damien, who goes down the inside of Steve. Damien, notoriously a very good starter, as we saw in Australia. Not quite as an incredible start as in Australia, but nevertheless he's made up a couple of positions and is battling now. Steve goes down the inside of Alex. He's down the inside. There's a little bit of contact with the Toro Rosso. Yeah, I believe that everything is still intact as Karim down the inside of Damien. Nice move there from Karim as Tyler in his home Grand Prix, not off to the best of starts, but up into P10. Oh, there's a little bit of front wing there. I believe that's Damien's or possibly Karim's. I'm not quite sure. Can't quite see from the onboard camera. So someone has front wing damage. I think it's Alex understeering through the triple right-hander. And yeah, I believe Alex has damage. He goes back down the inside, forcing Karim off the track. Very aggressive there from Alex as Jarno now looks down the inside of Damien. It's been a good opening lap for Felix as he's pulling away at the front of the pack. Jarno up into P8. And that was a bit of a manic start as now we watch almost a three-way scrap. For P8 as Jarno defending from Damien. Damien goes down the inside up into reclaiming that position, and it's all very close as, yes, echoing Ryan's thoughts, a solid move. But yeah, getting a bit of a breather now. Alex seemingly struggling on the super soft tyres, and I will let you cut in just a moment, Ryan, because I feel as if I'm hogging the role. What did you think of that start? How did you make of it?
Well, it was very, very chaotic, of course, with lots of battles going on. Obviously, Marcos getting off to one of the worst starts on the grid. Obviously, battling at the front with Felix, and then Felix, which, yeah, like you said, it was a fair move. Felix didn't really have much room on the inside, and he kept his line, so I would say fair enough to him. And it was good for Marcos that he went off track.
Sorry to cut you off, Ryan, but Karim's trying around the outside of Alex. We'll come back to you in just a moment, Ryan, but Karim goes down the inside. There's a little bit of wheel banging, and unlike Sebastian Vettel, he keeps it in a straight line as Damien has a front row seat as Karim down the inside. That's a very good move from the McLaren driver, who's been very on form so far this season, and he's looking to continue that form up into P6 is the McLaren, and I think he'll be quite impressed with the opening laps. Anyway, back to you, Ryan. What were you saying? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, it was good that Marcos played it a bit nicely there. He didn't try to stay on the track and potentially cause a collision. He played it very safe and took it off track instead of trying to stay on. So I think if he tried to stay on track, it could have been worse for him. Yeah,
and I think at this point Marcos has to, he can't really afford to take too many risks because he's a lot behind in the championship and needs to make up these points. So probably a smart move from Marcos, thinking long term as the Red Bull battle at the front is starting to get a little bit spicy. So we saw these two battle, well, not really battle, but get close in Brazil, and they did very tactically, just lifting off through the straight. So it'd be quite interesting to see if Moraine does go for this, obviously the championship leader. What do you make of the situation, Ryan?
Well, I think for Red Bull Garage, it's going to be another tough call. I don't know if Felix will let Marine past, or if the Red Bull have just said, just jostle for position. You don't need to let each other pass. Just go for it. But then at the same time, the more you hold each other up, the more that Marcos is going to catch up and potentially regain first position and get a little bit of redemption off of lap 1.
Yeah, I think in terms of constructors, I think Red Bull, you know, they're highest supply, and I think they're on 130 something points. The closest challengers, I believe, are only on 70 something. So Red Bull have got it sorted for the constructors at this point in time. But it's down to the drivers now. These two, obviously, we know get on well. They know each other well. They're two fast drivers, as Alessio in the Force India into the pits. Something to note, Alex did pit and come out on the soft tyres, so he's going to the end, you'd think. But yeah, back to this little battle. Yeah, the two of these, they're both very fast drivers. Both of their debut seasons were Season 3. Moraine picking up the championship, of course, that season. With Felix getting a couple of race wins coming in late. So, yeah, these two, they are closely matched. I think Felix has had I think he pulled the short straw in terms of the luck. Oh, Amar is off. Through the fast triple right-hander, and I believe that could be his race over unless he continues. I think that's going to be, yeah, I think he's going to call it a day. Is the Renault driver? He's not. No, I think he's sticking with it. You know, he may as well. He might get some points from people retiring. No, he won't. He's gone into the pit wall. Yeah. Anyway,
right away.
Yeah. So Steve has got past Esteban. Esteban seemingly having good quality pace, but not as incredible race pace. Almost the I'm not sure what I'm getting at here, but going back to the battle at the top, Moraine sticking behind Felix has kept Marcos on his toes, and now there's just a second that separate the top three. Is Marcos getting very sideways at the final corner? Good save from Marcos. But you'd say if Moraine, oh, there's a Renault, that is Amar. Hopefully he doesn't get involved in anything. He's coming out.
I think he might
yeah, he may. As all drivers keep their nose clean, but that's really. To be honest, to Amar, there wasn't much he could do. But here comes Marcos round the outside. He's going to try, backs out of it. Smart there from Marcos, and yeah, I think there wasn't really much Amar could do in that situation. You'd say.
Yeah, because he had to stay in between the white lines, so he couldn't exactly move out the way. But at the same time, he could have braked a lot earlier for the corner. Yep. Oh, yellow flags.
Was that Amar again? Amar's lost some of his front wing. So I'm not sure if he's gone off or made contact.
To Esteban. I think Esteban's having a lot of trouble. Yeah, Karam is catching up massively. He gained a lot of time in that last bit.
Sorry to break you up, but the Red Bulls have swapped positions. I'm just in the middle of eating my homemade bread, which is very nice. Karam up into P5. Esteban comes back at him, but Karam has got the traction on the exit. Esteban looking for a bit of a switchback line, but Karam has that covered. Damian's going to go for a bit of a dive bomb. Very aggressive.
Massive dive bomb
from the Spanish driver. If that came off, it would be quite incredible. Now he's side by side with Yana. Was pushing Yana. Wide is going to go round the outside. That's Amar. Oh, there was nearly a sandwich there. There was very nearly a sandwich with Sadler in the middle.
But causing a lot of trouble.
Amar, yeah, clearly struggling, and I think we may need to have some words with the Renault driver Esteban in the pits. So clearly he is struggling, speeding in the pit lane. He gets a penalty for.
He's really struggling.
So, yeah, Red Bull swapped. I wasn't really watching it because of the other fight, but do you think that would have been an engineered switch or not?
I would have thought just because it would be DRS down the straight, and he couldn't really afford to. Because if Moraine had slowed down and not passed Felix, I think Marcos would have gotten past really easily. So I think he just had to go for it. Oh, Amar has retired. But has he retired on the track, and will there be a safety car? Who knows?
I don't think so. Yeah, there's still time, Ryan. There's still time.
Yeah, fair enough. And the rain could be here, which, well, have you heard anything from the drivers yet?
I haven't heard from the drivers, but it's still looking quite overcast. As we have a bit of a drag race at the minute between the top three. But yeah, Moraine seemingly better time management than Felix at this point in the race.
Yeah, I would think so. Oh, yeah, Yarno just getting past Karam there.
His super soft's
So
working quite nicely.
In less than half of the race, Yarno's already gone above my expectation. So, and he's on the super soft as well. So he's going to be able to go out for a lot longer than the drivers in front of him and behind him. So I think he's in a very good position. Damien and Tyler were battling for a second. Tyler's up into P7 now.
Battle of the home races as Tyler comes into the pits. Both of these two still in the race. Oh, Damien goes a little bit wide. But not having a terrible race, all the two of them. Obviously McLaren with both drivers running, which will help them out in the constructors. Yeah, I think it's all eyes on the top as Felix is dropping off Moraine outside of a second now, so Felix clearly struggling. And I think one big thing, as I believe, is Tyler coming out the pitch just behind Alex, but in front of Alessi, who's, to be fair to him, has been keeping it clean. I think he's on a 2-stop. Be interesting to see how that works out. Yarno with a 3-second time penalty.
Marcos could be going for a move here because he's got DRS and Felix doesn't, so it could be a very close
Damien's out the
here.
session. Oh,
Okay.
I've literally commentators cursed that.
Oh, Marcos is very close. I think Marcos is going to make a move on Felix at some point.
I'm watching it
He's
right
probably
here.
gonna-
If you can just commentate over it.
Yeah, Felix gone really wide into that one, into the previous turn. Yeah, it looks like Felix is struggling a little bit. I think Marcos will be able to take him either this lap or next lap.
Unless Felix pits, which could be a possibility. And just as I said that the two homeboys were having a good race, no. So Damien out of the race, unfortunately. Be interested to see if Marcos can plant the traction, struggling on that final corner as he has all race, but still tucks in. Doesn't
He
have
can still make a move.
slipstream. Does Felix? Is he going to make a dive? He is going to make a dive, almost
he is.
redemption. Full lap one.
A very good move.
Slowed down nicely though, to be fair, on entry. And clean move there from Marcos.
Very clean. He gave him more than enough room. It was almost like Marcos was too nice there. He gave him a little bit too much room, I think. He was being very
possibly
generous with that overtake.
And I think now is about the time the pit window opens for the soft tyre. Maybe a couple of laps ago, maybe I'm a little bit late.
Yeah, I think if you were going to go on to the softs, probably pit around about now, or maybe stretch the ultras to lap 10, maybe.
Maybe. And then super softs to the end would be the idea. I think a lot of these drivers are thinking of that. But just something to notice, I've been watching the gap from Felix to Steve, or Marcos to Steve is what it was. And with these guys battling is allowing Steve and effectively Yarno to close in on them. So.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at the gaps. Steve's already made up like 2 or 3 tenths on them in just a few corners. So yeah, it's really helping Steve and of course Yarno. They're gaining a few tenths every few corners, like I said.
Yeah, Steve getting a move on. All the top 4 currently on the ultra soft tyre, so you'd expect them to pit soon. Moraine comes into the pits, so Felix is gonna have to crunch his teeth and go on for another lap, if that's an anomaly. Not an anomaly, analogy, sorry. You can see my English is on point. Steve moves up into P3 into podium position. It's not been a bad race from Steve, you'd say so far.
No, it's been a very solid race from him. As a quick thing to point out, Moraine is on the soft, so he should be going to the end. But yeah, it's been a very solid race for Steve, and obviously Yarno starting from the back. If he can get a podium today, that'll be a very good showing from him. Oh, yellow flags.
Oh, Alex
is round. Oh,
he pits.
I think he was trying to come into the pits, but he just lost it.
Quite possibly not a good day for Alex. But if he keeps with it, he will get points. Alessio up in P9. He's on for scoring his first points of the season.
And the first points are for Cindy as well.
Yep, there is that. So yeah, good point. But yeah, I think the reigning world champion, Moraine, slightly conservative, you'd say, with the strategy.
Yeah, I would think so. He's gaining quite a lot on Marcos at the moment. He's 16 seconds off of Marcos. So
Yep.
if anything, if Marcos comes in now, then Marine's gonna have a huge cut on him. He's gonna be some 4 or 5 seconds ahead of
Yeah.
Marcos. So
Well, he
the
came
longer...
in. Marcos is
Oh.
into the pits. There's almost a little dummy
Is
there.
Felix in as well?
Felix is in also. Both drives into the pits. Looks like
There'll be a battle of
Marcos.
the pit crew here.
It will. It was as if Marcos was trying to dummy.
There's
Is Marcos serving a time penalty or? I believe Marcos. Because Felix is out and going. Marcos had a time penalty serve.
He did?
He must have, because I was watching him. What? That one must have been for cutting the corner. Must have been at the start.
Oh no.
We must have
That's
missed
very
it.
unfortunate for him.
That is unfortunate, because if we had the choice, we'd remove it. But down the inside goes Tyler on Esteban. Tyler
think-
on. Yeah, going round.
What do you think it was? 5-second penalty?
Yeah.
I think we could remove it because, I mean, you couldn't do anything, so I think we should maybe take off 5 seconds at the end.
We will have to look into it.
Yeah.
But yeah. We'll see what we
Very
can do. That is a
unfortunate.
shame, because I know I wouldn't have given him a penalty. Not Felix's fault. As Alex is doing.
Oh, yellow
Something?
flags, Alex off again, yep.
I'm not sure what he's doing exactly.
Whatever he's doing, he's gonna have to get a move on because
Yeah.
Steve is catching up to him now.
He is Steve, obviously in the lead of the race. Good time management to keep his tyres on this long. And what is Alex going to do? Into the pits comes Steve.
Oh, that was very close.
What is he? That was very. Okay,
Oh,
well. Okay.
no, Steve had...
What is he doing?
I can already see
Yep.
a penalty coming Alex's
Yep.
way
Mhm.
because he's now given Steve front wing damage, so that's really gonna affect him.
Unless these two got tripped over each other. That is unfortunate.
Because Alex basically brake tested
Yep.
Steve in the pit lane because you could see that he was braking so early coming into the pits, and now Marcos has actually jumped Steve.
Yeah, Steve comes
So,
out the pits
if
and
Steve-
P5
So
puts.
if Steve didn't need to fix that wing, it could have been a lot closer.
It could have. Esteban wide. These two are side by side now. Marcus with 3 second time penalty through the S's, and Tyler has to go off track, cutting the track slightly. No penalty, I do believe those. They're still side by side. Excellent battle between this midfield pack. They're still side by side. This could be a contender for the top 10 battles of the season.
Oh, Tyler's gonna get it. Yep.
Yeah, good effort there from Tyler, but Esteban's still there. Down the inside goes Esteban. And he's still hassling the McLaren. Good traction there from Esteban, considering he's on the dirtier line. He'll have DRS now, activating DRS as we go down the long back straight, leading down into what I believe is turn number 10. Or maybe number 11, but Esteban back, but down the inside goes Tyler. These two absolutely nip and tuck with each other. Tyler off track, but he's still going to keep a nose in. Jesus, what a battle between these
This is
two.
definitely battle of the season here.
It's
This
definitely
is
up
like Lando
there.
Norris and George Russell
It
Formula
is.
2.
Yeah,
Remember.
and so Tyler just nips ahead at the double left-hander. But whew, what a battle between the two of them.
Yeah, this is definitely F2 at Monza when Norris and Russell were going at it. It's definitely that. And that
Yeah.
was probably what got them into Formula 1, so...
Which is probably up there. But yeah, what a battle. Good moving there from Tyler to secure the best of the rest spot so far this race. But saying that, if Jarno pits with this gap, he will come up behind the McLaren of Tyler. So
That'll be a problem. If they're still battling, that can hinder
Yeah.
Jarno a little bit.
Alex on a 3 second time penalty. Whatever he was doing with Steve earlier, I don't know. Oh, Jarno's off! Jarno,
Oh no!
after what was
Damn.
such a good race, he's going to have to limp back to the pits. Red Bull 1-2. Marcos, I'm sure, will pick up on some of Yarna's slipstream, and inevitably the position after Yarna pits is, if it's any consolidation to Yarna, it was probably around pit time for him anyway.
I don't know. Maybe you could have gone a little bit longer on the super softs, but it's a hard call. But yeah, I think you were right. It was about that time. Yarn was still battling Marcos though, so
yeah,
he's not giving up too easily.
Yeah, but evidently giving up position. That's a shame though for Yarna. But I still think P6, P5 is probably out of reach. Well, maybe P5. You never know. Tyler is on a 2-stop on ultra soft, super soft tyres. Actually, and these two are back at it again. Could you believe it? So, can Esteban get a good exit out the final corner? He can. DRS activated onto this lovely nose shot. Is he going to make a move? He is going to make a move.
He's going to go for it. Oh, he's giving him the room, yep. Tyler's
just
off track,
about.
but I think Tyler's kept the position somehow.
Side by side, yeah. Great job there from Tyler. I didn't catch it properly because I was switching to the wrong McLaren. But yeah, Tyler is having the race of his life so far, keeping Esteban behind him. Obviously, Esteban not needing to stop again. Well, you wouldn't think. But Tyler will, because he won't be able to stretch those tyres to the end of the Grand Prix. Anyway, we're going to do some quick maths with the Gprl commentary squad. And it's getting to that time of race. We are just approaching half distance in both the race and the Gprl Season 4. So party poppers, please.
I should maybe quickly run and get some. I don't think we've got any.
No, I don't have any either, so... So, 25%. So it's 21 laps needed to be completed to score points today.
Yep.
That's what these drivers will be aiming for, and Moraine starts the lap. And now we can confirm we are halfway through Season 4, longest calendar we've run. It's been a successful season. We'll have a bit of reminiscing at this point in the Grand Prix. It's been a good season so far, hasn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, it's been very exciting to commentate. Every race has just been more exciting than the last. Yeah. It's been incredible to commentate the first half of the season. Obviously, there'll be no 4-week summer break between this one, otherwise we'd have to do half of the race.
Yep.
Leave and then do the other half of the race.
Just pause it. Later. That would be no, no. But Karen is catching up on the inseparable Esteban and Tyler. Yano's pitted out on the softs in P8. I don't think it's too bad for Yano. It's retrievable.
It is, yeah.
Wrapping a new helmet design, I believe, is Yano. I'm not too loud eating, am I?
No, it's not.
No, I was gonna say, I do a GCSE in food and nutrition.
Ah, okay.
And I've made focaccia bread, which is, do you know what focaccia bread is?
I think so. Oh, Alex is off.
Alex? Oh yeah, struggling is Alex. He nearly goes. Please don't come back into the path of anyone.
No.
If he comes into the path of someone, it will be the McLaren. Back into the pits goes Alex.
I thought he nearly hit his teammate there.
I thought he did also. And I think that's c'est la vie, I'm afraid. For Alex, he's gonna come. Please, Ghost.
Oh.
Yep. Oh.
Few people having a heart attack there.
Yes, I was one. Oh, Esteban goes for it down the inside. That's an aggressive move. And how have these two not killed each other yet? But they're still side by side. Tyler, do anything.
You could put Tyler on the grass and he'd still be able to defend that position.
Apparently, Esteban must be questioning what it takes to get past the McLaren. But in his home Grand Prix, I think Tyler, he's definitely done a good job so far. As we just passed half race distance. And ooh, yellow flag sector 1, and that is Alex. Oh, finally. I think someone to comment on that we haven't really commented on. Alessia having a quiet race down in P9. He struggled a bit, really, hasn't he?
He has. He's been struggling when he's been on the track. Obviously, Bahrain, that was probably when he struggled the most because he retired pretty early on, I think, and his teammate as well, Hugo, was not having a good time either. So, I mean, to get 75% in this race, it'd be good to finally get some points for Force India because they've deserved a few points. They have been driving reasonably well when they've been on track.
Yeah.
So yeah, they definitely deserve a few points.
Yeah, I think nowadays in GPRL, points are definitely harder to achieve with the level of competition we have. Yeah. Sorry, but if you're the likes of Moraine, Felix, Marcos, Steve, Karim, Jarno, Yannick when he races, those sort of people, pretty much bound to get points. But when you're the likes of Alessio, Esteban, Tyler coming into the league, you know, it's an unknown. And obviously racking up points nowadays is harder as we have Tyler Alessio's in the pits. But yeah, we obviously do see more drivers than before, which is definitely a good thing, and nice to see that Gprl is expanding. Hopefully we'll always be going up, and we're still yet to see our first full grid race, but it will happen as the Force India team let Alessio go. And he's been in no man's land today, really, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been like 20 seconds off of Jarno for pretty much the whole race. So yeah, it has been very quiet for him. I think Esteban and Tyler are still going out because I think Esteban might make another move.
Oh,
he is. Esteban's going to make another move, but Tyler's like a superhuman today because no one can seem to get past him. And if Tyler finished in fifth, he would be, well, you could say he's best of the rest.
Yeah.
Would be really good for his home Grand Prix.
It would. Albeit another stop to make.
Very close now.
Esteban's starting to understeer. But you know what? I'm impressed with Esteban. He's had a very good first two races. Yeah, there is Tyler into the pits. I think it'd be interesting to see what he does because 11 laps ago he'll probably come out on another set of super softs, which he's clearly been liking. So now he releases his teammate onto the back of Esteban. I think it could be a P5 for Cam today, you know.
He's coming on to the ultras. That's going to be a tricky one for him, I think.
He will have good pace. Yeah, but they might go off at the end. Albeit, the leaders could take their tyres 8-9 laps on full race fuel. So on less fuel, you know, maybe he'll be able to stretch it out. It'll be interesting to see. But I think if it works, you know, just 3.5 seconds behind Jarno, so it'd be interesting to see if he can. It'd be interesting to see that gap, as Jarno is always closing to Karim, who's closing on Esteban, who is not closing on Steve. But Steve has been quietly nipping away at this gap to Marcos, and would you say Steve has like an outside chance of a podium?
Well, there's always chance for anyone to get the podium, but yeah, I think in this case Steve has got a very good chance to catch up to Marcos. It seems like Marcos is starting to struggle a little bit, but that could just be we're just cutting over to him at a bad time. But if he's been like this the whole race, then I think Steve could challenge for the podium.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, a lot of the gaps have ironed out, and I said it'd be interesting to watch the gap between Tyler and Jarno. Tyler's closed them by about half a second so far this lap, and yeah, so clearly might be interesting to see. Obviously, GPRL veteran versus GPRL rookie. So yeah, I think the thing I'm most interested in is how far he can take these tyres if to the end of the race is possible. I think he can, you know, personally. I'm not sure what your views are, Ryan, but I think he can.
Yeah, I think he can.
Yeah. Checking back in with the leader, Moraine. The gap behind's coming down, I will tell you that much, but not to get excited, it's changing by a couple of hundredths every so every now and then. So I wouldn't expect a Red Bull tussle today, but I think Felix gave it a good shot at the start, didn't he?
Yeah, he gave it a good go. He led a good number of laps, so yeah, it's been a good race for Felix. Considering he started, I think it was third on the grid.
Yeah, it was third. Yeah, it was. But just to check up on the standings, and if I am messing Ryan, feel free to shout at me. But yeah, Moraine, 60 points clear. Not 60, 50 points clear. 49 actually, if you want to be the specifics. But if things stay as they are, ooh, Karim, Esteban is in the pits now, so it'll be interesting to see where him and his inseparable partner come out. I think Tyler will get
Tyler's
out.
going to be miles ahead.
Yeah, he will.
Fastest lap. Very good from him.
So a lot of pace from the car, and I think he's gonna be able to make a move as Esteban.
Oh, I think Esteban had a penalty, maybe.
Possibly, it looked like he was slow to get served or to start. But yeah, I believe Tyler will make a move on Yana. I think it would be smart of Yana. Well, I don't know if it would be smart for him to stick behind. Yeah, as a racer,
Yeah,
when you
I
sat
mean,
there.
look how much Tyler's catching up already.
Yeah, as you
Look at
sat
that,
there in
he's
the
already
cockpit.
right up behind him and just won a few corners.
Yeah, you sat there in the cockpit. You don't think of, yeah, maybe I could sit behind him, but yeah, maybe it would be smart for Yarno to do this. Obviously, joined us last week on the race rundown sort of thing after the race, not the podcast. We didn't do it last week. We will catch up on that this week, hopefully. But here goes Tyler.
Yes.
And
Good move, way before the corner. Oh, Yarner nearly went into the back.
yeah,
walked up.
thankfully didn't. And I think Yarno will sit behind him. Now Yarno, but he's struggling a little bit on his tyres. But it'll be interesting to see how far Karim can stretch his tyres. 9-lap old tyres, the same lap as Steve and Marcos Felix, both on 10-lap old tyres. Moraine on 11, so we might see Moraine run into a little bit of trouble towards the end of the race if his tyres are that old. But I don't think it will be enough. Go on.
And the clouds aren't exactly going away, so there could be a little spot of rain
Could be a spot of
to
rain.
come. I think there's a little bit. I think if you look very far in the distance, you can see a little bit of fog, and
A
sometimes when you
flag?
see that, there tends to be rain.
I
Not sure who that
can't
was for.
see anything. That was a very weird yellow flag.
Maybe Esteban. Esteban is struggling. Esteban's back in the pits. What's happening?
Has he got damage or?
I don't think so. I didn't see any damage on his car. But
Drive-through
like
penalty now?
oh, maybe. Like I said with the rain, normally when you see rain from a distance, it looks a bit foggy.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see a little bit of fog appearing, so there could be some rain on the way.
Okay,
If my
so
geological assumptions are correct.
Esteban, no surname. I was going to say O'Connell Gutierrez then. So he's pitted, he's come back out in P9, and he's put on the super soft tyres, so clearly not liking the ultra soft tyre is the Spaniard. So that promotes Alessi up into P8, and lap 21, so as the drivers cross the line, this time they're all confirmed, penciled in to score points, which is good. Nice to know that unless Tyler has a oof in the last couple of corners, I couldn't figure out a word there. Ryan, you'll have to help me out. A nightmare, maybe.
Yeah, that would be a better word.
Tyler, nice to see. He's scoring points in his home Grand Prix. It's not something we really focus on as much in Gprl, as a lot of the drivers we have nowadays are actually Dutch. You know, Moraine, Felix, Jarno, Yannick. Probably a lot more. There's a lot of Spanish people also in the league. And I think it's nice to know that it's not predominantly English or Scottish.
I'm pretty certain you put Yannick underneath the Dutch drivers.
Yes, I did.
He's German.
Is he German? Oh,
pretty
sorry, Yannick.
I'm pretty sure. I'll have to check on. I'm pretty certain Yannick is German.
I'm not sure.
I'll have to look at that. But I have seen his name show up in lobbies and stuff, and he has the German flag on. So I would presume he is German.
Possibly. Good. Did you sing there, Mr. Paul DeRasta?
Yeah, indeed. Moraine is catching up to Esteban now, so Esteban's away to be one of the lap cars. But I wonder how he'll do this because if Esteban tries to let him past in the S section, that could be absolutely
That could be
disastrous. So
fireworks.
what will Esteban do? How will Esteban let Moraine past here? Because this is going to
Fair
hopefully
play.
he's just going to go really wide. Okay.
I think, fair play to him. Now Felix is coming up on him. I think Esteban not wanting any dramas, fair play to him. Not doing an Alex, who will definitely be looked at later on in the race. After the race, sorry, you know what I mean. But we commented on... Go on.
I'm just looking at the fastest laps. When Alex set his fastest lap 1:33.5, Karim, his fastest lap's only a 1:36.9. So if Tyler's doing consistent pace, he's about 3 seconds quicker than Karim at the moment, and he's about a second or two quicker than the leader at the moment. So I think Tyler's actually the quickest car on the grid at the moment.
It makes sense. But I bet Tyler has in the back of his mind tyres, because he has the telemetry, we don't. But he'll know how worn his tyres are. So it'll be interesting to see if he can keep the tyres under control. But he is gaining on his teammate. But I think a 5.6 is probably McLaren's best result in a while.
Yeah, it'll be a good double points for both of them, and obviously they will both be scoring points no matter where they finish now. So
yeah, it's a little update.
I think it's one of the first double point scores McLaren have had, because Karim's the only one to be scoring for McLaren at the moment. So
Tyler has scored points this season, but I don't think at the same time as Karim. Well, maybe there has been one or two, but yeah, McLaren just behind Sauber in the Constructors' Championship. Oh,
Esteban ignoring a blue flag. For who? Oh, for Felix, I think. I think he's
Felix?
Up Felix a little bit here. Yeah.
He is, yeah.
Because Esteban is supposed to be letting him through now, and he just got a penalty for ignoring blue flags. So
Esteban pulls over. Fair play to him. I thought he was going to do something a little bit dodgy. Thankfully, didn't. But yeah, that's pretty chill. Just on the onboard, looking backwards on Felix's car, the rear right, it doesn't look healthy, to be honest. Just cut away from the camera, but yeah, the onboard camera that faces backwards. Yeah, it's that camera, and it looked quite blistered. So
oh, okay. So that
yeah.
could be a factor in the last few laps. You could there could be a puncture, you never know.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, I think Moraine's getting into that puncture sort of territory now.
I think Moraine's taking it quite easy. One thing, and is it just me, or is it when I keep seeing rain, I keep thinking that I see rain. It's weird. My brain is failing me at the minute.
Yeah, I can understand what you mean. Yeah, sometimes I think there's rain, but then other times, yeah, it can get confusing sometimes, because you look at the clouds and you just immediately presume there's going to be rain.
Yeah, but I think rather than clearing, I think they're going away actually. The clouds that looked a little bit lighter in the first sector. But we mentioned earlier Moraine slowing down. He's not slowing down. He had quite a fast first sector. So Moraine obviously not concerned about his current state of tyres. Felix, all I'm saying, Esteban is right with him. So, while saying that, I think he's made a little bit of mistake and fallen back. But Esteban looking a little bit more confident as he goes a little bit sideways. It's a bit of an awkward situation here for Esteban, I'm sure he's thinking, do I make a move, do I sit behind? Because he's not really in competitive territory with Alessia. So, yeah, obviously...
Oh, he's getting very close to Felix.
Yeah, he's almost following, pushing him around the track. Meanwhile, Tyler has closed up to within 2 seconds of his teammate. It'll be interesting to see how these two deal with it, because these two they don't not get on, but they don't get on like your Red Bull teammates, like your Ferrari teammates.
I think we don't really hear much about the other teams. We only really hear about likes of Ferrari and Red Bull. We don't, and Sauber, of course. We don't really hear much about the McLarens nowadays.
But they're here nevertheless, and looking all good, all peachy for a double points actually. as I think a lot of the gaps in the race have ironed out. Esteban has got back past Felix. He's holding him up!
I think this will be
He's holding him up massively!
Who's he holding? Oh, he's holding up Felix. Oh no, he spun! Oh no,
Oh.
way! Oh, that was a moment. I thought Felix was gonna get spun there.
Yep, same. Right, and where does he come back out? Nowhere by Steve, hopefully. Yeah, he's out the session, but still scoring points for P9, so well done to him. Yana getting a little bit sideways out the final corner. But that puts Markov within 2 seconds of Felix, and we might have a little last lap battle, which we're not going to complain about.
So. Yeah.
Because Marcos...
one thing as well, I think this might actually be Tyler's best finish so far.
Mhm.
I think this could be, especially if he gets past his teammate, it'll definitely be his best finish of the season.
Mm.
Sorry, going back to what you were saying.
Not right now, hang on.
Oh, Yarno's got a 3-second time penalty. So if Moraine, sorry, 3-second time penalty, that'll mean that Felix only finished 7/10 behind him. So if Felix can catch up to Moraine, Felix might win because of the penalty. But I think Marcos has some penalties as well to deal with.
Does
So
Felix
he
also
might
have a
not
penalty?
I'll have to check race director for that. Does Felix have a penalty?
Yeah, he does.
He does.
He's just got one.
Okay. Oh, he just got one right now.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
Commentator
lap
goes.
9 and he got a penalty. 3 seconds plus. You were saying he just got a penalty.
Yeah, you just picked one up. We literally commentators cursed him. As Yano is in the pits. Tyler catching up, albeit a bit slower. His tyres are going off now. And sorry for not responding to you, Ryan. I'd literally just taken a bite out of my bread.
So Felix has 6 seconds worth of penalties. I think Marcos has the same.
Yeah, I think
they
Marcos
have
has
about the
some.
same. So the gap will stay the same for them, but for Moraine, with his 3-second time penalty, he's going to have to push a little bit, because if he takes this too slow, then he's going to lose the race because of his penalty.
So you say Felix has got 6 seconds worth of penalties.
Yes.
How much does Moraine have?
Moraine has a 3-second time penalty. He got it just before Felix did.
So he'll be alright, really.
No, it's 8/10 though, and like one slip up could potentially cost him the race win.
But if Felix has 6 seconds, yeah.
Oh yeah, if he does have the penalties, yeah, I completely went right over that. But
It's alright.
yeah, and that means that with all the penalties considered, Steve is still within a chance.
Yeah,
I think
he is.
Steve could get a podium here.
If Steve is penalty free, and if you could just check that please, Ryan. Meanwhile, Felix coming up to the back marker, it's Alessio. Will he help or will he hinder? The Force
Yeah.
India.
Well, we know what happened last time with the back marker. It was it nearly turned into a huge controversial moment, but it doesn't look like Alessio knows that he's there. That means Marcos is gonna. But
Felix will get DRS.
Here,
Yep.
I think.
So I think that's almost a blessing in disguise. One thing I want to point out, Marcus completely breaking the rules of Gprl, going for the number 69. Because I think he's penciled in to use the number 20 or something, maybe?
I think it's 21.
Yeah, I will check that for you. But now, crucially, Felix has got a car in between himself and Marcos. It's not for position, and no longer.
He gets let past.
Well, if that was let past or a mistake, we're not sure. But yeah, I think we're just about to start. Yes, we are the final lap of this Grand Prix. Marcos is closing seemingly healthier tyres, 1 lap fresher tyres. Does have the Spaniard, and just 1.2 seconds is in it between P1 and P2. So it could be quite interesting to see what happens between the two of them. And yeah, Marcus is penciled down for number 21. Not using that, so we'll have to have a word, but nothing that can't be fixed for the next race. Another thing to comment on, Tyler is just borderline within a second and bouncing between inside and outside the 1 second mark with Karen through this final corner. And Tyler seemed to have kept his tyres in a good good state considering how old they are.
Mhm.
Saying that, no, he
Oh.
hasn't. Oof. Oof.
Alex, that was
Yeah.
all you that time. I'm gonna say.
What is it with us?
Well, it was you that time, but
Yeah,
with
yeah, I
us,
know.
yeah. I don't know what it is. I think they're secretly listening to us,
Yeah.
and they hear a mistake might happen, and they're like, okay, let's try and not make that
Yeah.
happen. But then it does happen.
I think maybe we just shouldn't commentate. We just sit and watch, just sit in each other's company.
And just say stuff now and again. We'll only say stuff when it happens, not what we think might happen.
Yeah. Nah, let's not. I quite enjoy doing this. Anyway,
Yeah.
Moraine. Yana going on a little bit of a glory run, but yeah, Moraine. He didn't start on pole. He wasn't leading into turn 1, and he wasn't leading at the end of the first lap. But what matters is that he's leading at the end of the race, and Moraine crosses the line in Texas to win. Red Bull bring home another 1-2. Marcos finishes P3, loses another 5 points. I believe Steve jumps up to P2.
Right up to P2. Oh my word.
So I spoke too soon, and Steve gets P2. Red Bull double podium, not 1-2, it's a 1-3. Marcos down to P4, losing a couple more points to Moraine. The McLarens, yeah, that is quite.
Felix thinking there was a Red Bull 1-2, but it just gets snatched at the last second. There was 1.2 between them, so yeah, I think Steve had 0 penalties that race.
Yeah,
he's,
possibly.
He's quite a bit ahead.
And Karam rounds the final corner. Good race for Karam. Solid race, solid performance for P5. I think he'll be quite proud of that. Karam's had quite a run of P5s, and then Tyler. He's had not a perfect race, but a very fun race to watch. His best in Gprl. He comes home in P6. A very good race from McLaren, should say today.
And he'll probably also take away the Gprl Battle of the Season award at the end
Possibly.
of the season. I think
Yeah.
he'll be happy with that. In his rookie season, he's picked up an award, as well as obviously Esteban, who was involved.
Here comes Yana through the final corner. I think considering where he started, it's not terrible, but
it was about what I predicted. Yeah, I think that obviously Super Soft was really going to hinder us into the pits. I'm pretty sure Moraine was only a second or two behind,
yeah.
So yeah, it was going to be very difficult for him to keep podium position, but he did really well in the end. So
yeah,
he got the fastest lap, which I guess that matters for him.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think I'd take that home as a little memento. I will admit I've done it once or twice. You know where? Go to the bits. Oh, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. You can hang that one up on the wall. But another win for Moraine, solid performance. And Ryan, you can do a little race rundown as usual. A lot of penalties, wow.
Well, where do we start? We can start off with the penalties. As you can see, I think almost every driver got a penalty except Steve and Karam, the 2 cleanest drivers on the grid. Obviously not staying any penalties. Moraine, it was a good win from him. It was a good performance from Steve. Got a little bit lucky in the end, to be honest, to jump 2 positions due to penalties. Felix, it's a good result for the Red Bulls. Marcos, one of his less enjoyable weekends, but I think he's still got some points to take home, and I guess he can only just hope that he does better in the next race. Karam, a good result. Tyler as well, and the rest of the grid.
Which we didn't get to.
Yeah, but they did well as well.
Yeah,
they did good.
Yeah, they did.
Most of them scored points, so.
Well, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that just about concludes another round. Another fun race. We've had a good season. I know I say the exact same thing at the end of, every race. I feel like a bit of a broken record, but we've had a good season so far.
Yeah, I think that the first part of the season is really good, but I really hope that the next half's going to be even more exciting than it was, because it's been really good to commentate the first half, and I really hope that the second half can live up to it, especially at the final, which is the one I'm probably most looking forward to.
Yeah, I think
because
Singapore.
It's one of my preferred tracks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be quite interesting. Singapore, obviously, we know Singapore. It's Monaco, but a bit wider, I think you could say. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But next week we travel to Abu Dhabi, out in the out in Asia. So it's quite the flight from America, but I'm sure the drivers will cope completely fine for next week. And yeah, kickoff as we kick off the second half. Well, we don't, but you know what I mean. Technically, we go lights out for the first time in second half of season 4. So yeah, I hope you guys will be there. Abu Dhabi, looking back to last race, we had 4 finishes at the end of last season. Moraine was crowned the champion. There was a dramatic last lap battle and a crash between Renault and Toro Rosso, Steve and Moraine, and I believe Renault clinched the Constructors' Championship by 1 point after a penalty at the end given to Moraine after that battle. So it was complete madness. There was the whole Raul and Yannick situation. So I think if last year's season's race is anything to go by, I think we're in for a bit of a cracker this weekend. Next weekend, sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, I think it'll be another good race as it usually is for this season.
Yep. And yeah, I think that's about it. Unless there's anything else you want to bring up, Ryan.
Nope. I'm pretty empty.
Empty.
Empty for words.
Yeah. Okay. Empty. Fair enough. But finally, driver of the day. Who's your money on?
I would think Jarno.
Jarno, driver of the day. Fair enough. I think without the crash, probably Jarno, I'd say.
Yeah. But I think Tyler's a close runner-up.
I think Tyler, yeah.
Old race.
He made the 2-stop work.
Steve, maybe?
I think Steve, yeah, Steve's up there. I think Moraine, obviously for obvious reasons. He didn't have a lot to do in the race, but he had very good pace, and I think he's up there. We will do a poll on the Instagram later, Gprl_official, to decide the driver of the day. Sorry, my mind just completely went. But yeah, I think that is about it. Make sure you tune in this time next week, 5 PM. So yeah, thank you, Ryan, for joining me, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye.